Hello everyone, today we're going to be putting on my impaktech clutch lever. I ordered one in the mix and match combo. That's my existing clutch lever, and this is going to be the new one. It's not the shortest option, it's the next one. I think it's the 5-inch lever. It's in anodized red for the lever. The perch is black and this clamp is gold. It kind of matches the gold on the fork, so that's why I chose it on the very bottom. A caveat of replacing, like with the aftermarket lever, you can see there's two lines going into this lever. This line's the actual clutch cable, and this line is the clutch switch, so it'll make sure that you can't start the bike. If the clutch is not held in all the way, this doesn't let the bike start in any other gear other than neutral if you don't have your clutch lever depressed. And what we're going to do is we're going to bypass this. I'll show you how. There's different ways on the internet to do it, but my favorite way is just good old-fashioned soldering and a heat shrink. So, plus it's probably the cleanest. These are indeed 8mm. Let's take it off. It's already loosening up. You see that? I'm going to get the rest by my hand, and I can feel the top one already let go. And that's the bottom one. That's what we're working with. All right, so now all I gotta do is pull on these, pull them out. There should be 2 pins. There they go. These are the clutch, these are meant for the clutch switch. And this, I'm going to have to loosen it. Okay, now that it's loose, I'm able to give myself some slack. And you want to align these threads, this channel, so it's open on both sides like this, so that way you can then pull it out, and then it just comes out just like that. I forgot I was going to do this. I'm going to actually take off this entire housing, so after I solder these 2 wires together for the clutch switch, I'm going to keep them inside this housing so nothing's sticking out. The only thing I'm trusting is this 1/8 flathead. And you can see it's already coming apart. 1/8 flathead. The screw looks like it's coming in with the washer. Put that away. Oh, there's another screw on this side. After you take off that housing, you're going to see that there's a plate. Underneath this plate is where this cable is. I can't push it under, so I don't know if I should take the plate off. Whoops. If I should take the plate off or not. But that might be my best bet if I want it the cleanest, and take this little plate off. I might not need to take off the whole plate, both sides. This thing is so small, I'm kind of afraid. I don't want to lose this little piece, so I'm going to put it right here by the gas tank. Nope, looks like I got to take off both. So now this kind of went loose, right? Now all you really need is to take this. Oh, there's a little piece here. Can't lose this. You can't see because I don't have the light. But there's a little plastic piece that comes out that has to sit back in here. All right. I don't really have any cutting tools, so it looks like we just got to use this. All right, we got the housing off. We exposed some of the wires. All right, so now we're just gonna cut the wires. There goes our 2 connectors. Try our best to remove some of this housing off of it. Unfortunately, I don't have wire cutters. I don't know why. Make do with what we have. I think when I used to do this, I used to use my fingers, or my teeth. There we go. We got both of those wires exposed now. All we need to do is tie them together and solder them. So I'm just going to move it up and twirl them. Now that they're twirled, it's time to get the soldering gun out. I haven't done this in a long time, so I hope everything just works out. I'm gonna let this thing heat up. I've plugged it in. If I was some solder that I dashed off to the side, where would I be? There it is, behind the box. Jesus. All right, so I haven't done this in a long time. We're about to see how it works. So we're gonna apply heat to the actual coil, and once it heats up, then we're going to put the solder on the top.
One eternity later.
I'm starting to think that this is not soldering. Yeah, I don't think this is solder or solder. Oh boy. What a shit show. Well, luckily, I found the real solder. Heat that up and then put the real solder on there. I'm kind of shaky. This wire needs to get hot enough so that the solder can solder into the wire. I'm struggling getting this wire to melt onto the other wires. I think I need to come from the underside. So I'm going to switch out. All right, I have no patience for this. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. That's what I know. Not the best, but it's not the worst. So now all I need to do is take some heat shrink, jam it in here, over the wires, wire ends around here, and just shrink it up. I'm gonna shrink my own tip over here. It looks like it's holding. Now time to just put it back in the housing and put the plates on and put the entire case back on. So don't do what I did. I put the plate back on like this. No, this wire right here needs to come up through underneath that plate out on the top left there. I mean, yeah, on the top left there, or else you're gonna have crimping on the wires. So don't do that. All right, so I made a mistake. Now I gotta own up my mistake and replace this plate. That's gonna be really fun to deal with. So this is how it was supposed to sit, with this wire coming out the top left. Now I can put this back on without worrying about crimping our wires. Perfect. All right, but before I tighten it all the way, I want to make sure that it's in a position that I like. So I'm going to move it a little bit away from the bar, tiny bit. That way it's not fully flush. Then adjust it so it's kind of level with the other controls. Seems good to me. And start tightening. This is all hand tightened. So now what's left to do after I put this back on is to actually put the clutch lever on. It's the same as before. We need to route the cable into this hole and through. And this is how we're going to get it through. Right through that channel right there. Line them up so all the channels are the same. And then you just pull, and voila. And that's it right there. Now we're just gonna mount it on here and then adjust. An Allen wrench for this, apparently, hex wrench. I already unhexed it earlier, so booga booga. Get it around your handlebars. Once you start feeling them catch, that's when you really want to start adjusting it. So pretend like you're on the bike and you want to grab the clutch. And now it's time to adjust the feel. So if you remember from before, I had a nickel. I don't know where I put that nickel. Here it is. The nickel is supposed to tell me how much of a distance right here from the perch to the lever I need for the free play stops. My free play stops around here. So I have like 4 nickels worth. 4 nickels worth. So I'm gonna start adjusting this right here. Just a little bit more. Maybe 1 turn. So this is my 1 turn. Barely any free play. I think I need to undo just a little bit. Let's go and ride it and see how it feels. For me, my favorite, I adjust it twice. For me, my favorite distance is this. It's already pulling on it. I can't even say anything. It's already pulling on it. So, I mean, to me, that was my favorite performance. No free play. Actually, might be doing that because of this. Yeah, okay, that's why, because my handlebars were all the way to the right. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to say that was my favorite, so I'm just going to tighten these up and put this on, and we're good to go. Actually, one thing though, I would prefer this about like a degree this way, pointed down more. I'll show you why. Hopefully it stays in the angle. If I get on the bike and I point, right, I know that I'm pointing a little higher on my left side than I am on my right side. So these kind of get in the way. I feel like if I have a full pull, I don't want to pull from the top here. I want to pull from the bottom here. So I'm going to angle this down a little bit more. I put the flip-flop right there. No problem. Already like it a lot more. The fact that it's not pulling from the top here, that it's pulling somewhere from down rather than up here. I think that's good. I like it. I'm pointing at the ground at the same angle with both fingers from both sides. So I'm just gonna hold this where it belongs and just go. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere now. That's so tight. Let's forgot to tighten these. Let's tighten these. Do one more spin, and I think that's it. So that's how you guys put on an impaktech bar. An impaktech clutch lever, and also bypass the clutch switch on the Honda Grom 2022. Next up is going to be the impaktech rear sets and sub cage. I'm waiting for that from the powder coater, so stay tuned. See ya.